about Fortnite and the fact that they're about to launch a mobile version of their game. And apparently it's supposed to be a fully fledged mobile experience. But it got me thinking, number one, how cool that is. But also, number two, like another thing I just heard recently is that Fortnite is becoming more popular than PUBG. In fact, some people are even saying it is more popular than PUBG, which is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So I want to talk about that for a few minutes. So PUBG, or PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, is a game that rocketed into popularity because of its Battle Royale mode that no other game was doing at the time. And they were doing it really well. They sold over 30 million copies on PC alone, and that doesn't even include Xbox sales. And it grew really quickly, but just as quickly as it's grown over the past couple months, it's now been overtaken by a force that's even crazier called Fortnite, at least in terms of concurrent players and people watching it on Twitch. And what's really cool is it's about to get even bigger because of their mobile launch. So what I want to talk about is how this happened. How did Fortnite basically come from nowhere and overtake a game that was just insurmountable in the amount of growth that it had? So it was able to not only outdo it, but now it's like surging past it. And it's kind of becoming one of those games that everyone knows about in a relatively short time. It hasn't been out that long, I don't think. I want to talk about how this happened. So one thing that really helped, I think, is the fact that Fortnite is free. In fact, I've played it because of that very reason, because I got an Xbox One for Christmas, so I downloaded it, and it was free. I haven't played PUBG, but I'm not willing to pay the $30, and they just make their money on microtransactions. One thing that's been really cool about Fortnite also is that they have been really fast to develop, get rid of bugs, add more modes, and PUBG has been a little bit slower, and I heard PUBG had like some cheating problems. They're going so fast that they're already about to be on mobile, which is insane. And also, Fortnite is made by Epic Games, which also makes the engine that it's built on, and it's a really powerful and flexible engine, which is why they've been able to not only like make it a seemingly bug-free experience, but also able to convert it to mobile so quickly. And also, Fortnite, I think, is more welcoming to new players. PUBG is very gritty and realistic, and I think people who are more casual will probably appreciate the Fortnite style because it's not that. It's almost more cartoony and animated. But even though I kind of prefer the PUBG realistic atmosphere. Michael, what's your take on this?
So, as someone who plays PUBG, I really enjoy PUBG. I played on the Xbox. I never played on the PC, and I haven't played Fortnite, although I downloaded it. For me, it's exactly like you said. I mean, the fact that it's free, I feel like Fortnite not only is better for newer players, but it's more of an all-around, just for everybody. Everybody can play it. They can download it for free. They can hop on there, and they can just start jamming, versus PUBG, I feel like it's more for veteran gamers, for people that have been around the block for a little bit, maybe a little bit older, not necessarily, the younger players. And younger players, when you hit that, I think like 16 to 25-year-old, those are the people, maybe even 16 to 21, those are the people that are really going to drive game sales. And I feel like, unfortunately, PUBG doesn't hit that market as well as Fortnite does. Maybe if they were a little quick to develop, like you mentioned, they're really kind of taking their time on this. I didn't even know this, but on Xbox it's in alpha, so it only has one map you can play, and it's kind of very limited. But on the full version on PC, there's actually a couple different maps. So it's a way better experience. And I think if they weren't taking as long of a time and they were keeping up with Fortnite, they would have a lot more competition in there. But the problem is they're not. And so, I'm paying $30 to play an alpha game that eventually will get better, or I can just hop over to Fortnite that's already pretty well polished, and I can play it on different consoles and now coming up with mobile devices. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think Fortnite's going to wipe out PUBG by any means, but I definitely think that PUBG really missed the launching ramp on this one, and Fortnite hit it full speed. And I think that's definitely going to hurt in the future, because like you said, unless they change something up and make it free, or Fortnite starts charging, there's not a whole lot of headway for PUBG to come back on this one. I don't think that they're going to be able to make the game that much more amazing than Fortnite at this point. So I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see, but I think Fortnite's definitely found a nice market and really exploited it here.
Yeah, man, and they kind of played on the coattails of the success of PUBG, and actually Fortnite didn't even launch as a Battlegrounds game, but they shifted towards it. In fact, it was a failing game, and it's just really cool to see how they've rebounded, and the fact that their development team's so fast and has turned this so quickly into the powerhouse that it is. It's just really crazy. And for those of you who don't know what a Battlegrounds game is, by the way, I'm just going to throw this in here. It's basically kind of like picture Hunger Games, but with machine guns and whatever weapon you can find. You basically just, you and 100 other people on an island, and the last person to survive wins. It's pretty crazy.
By the way, if you guys want to see us play video games and play video games with each other or interact in that way at all, let us know. I think it'd be a lot of fun.